and today my topic of discussion is pharmacotherapy of interstitial lung disease. So interstitial lung disease per se is very complex and perplexing problem, and choosing a right drug for a right patient is very important for all of us to know about it. Now this is a list of entire group of interstitial lung disease, and there are some areas which is being in a dark line like idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, idiopathic NSIP, sarcoidosis, interstitial lung disease with autoimmune features. So these are the progressive interstitial lung disease. So there are interstitial lung disease which remain static for a period of time, but there are a group of disease which are progressively increasing. So we have to identify that this is a progressing increasing disease and this is a static disease, or it will progress slowly over a period of time. Now your question, to your opinion, which is the most common interstitial lung disease in India? Your time start now. So there are several interstitial lung disease. You have to identify that this is which is the commonest of interstitial lung disease in India. Okay. So idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis is the most common answer, but that is the wrong answer. The most common interstitial lung disease in India is a hypersensitive pneumonia. This is a changing landscape of ILD in India. If you look before 2010, then the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis was very commonest, or it was most commonly reported per se, and there was not much awareness about the other interstitial lung disease. That's why it was ranked as a number one interstitial lung disease. Now, past 2010, the ILD registry, which has registered maximum number of interstitial lung disease, has pointed out that the hypersensitive pneumonia is constitute of 47% of total interstitial lung disease detected. There are other small registry, but they are localized to few centers only, while the ILD registry is notifying from many centers. So now the hypersensitive pneumonia is considered to be most commonly diagnosed interstitial lung disease in India. Now coming to a simple case, this is a Mr. KB, 65 years of male, complaint of exertional breathlessness, MRC grade 2 since last 1 year, clubbing grade 2, and there are bilateral basal fine velcro crackles. So what will be the diagnosis? So this is a case of a typical idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, and you can see there are multiple cystic area which we called as a honeycombing, which is situated in the base of the lung. So this is a UIP pattern, that is a usual interstitial pneumonia pattern on CT scan. This is a typical UIP pattern, and which is a synonymous with the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which has got basal predilection, peripheral predilection, honeycombing, and traction bronchiectasis. So these are the features which is suggestive of usual interstitial pneumonia, and which is a diagnosis for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Now my another question to the audience. So this is a case of a pakka idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. So in your opinion, your time start now. Which medicine do you use? Prednisolone, methylprednisolone, antifibrotic drug like pirfenidone and nintedanib, prednisolone, azathioprine and N-acetylcysteine, or sildenafil? So yes, this is a right answer by the audience. Many has put the B, that is antifibrotic drug. Say before 10 years, we used to prescribe combination drug like prednisolone, azathioprine and acetylcysteine, but the new guideline is not supporting the use of this combination drug, and now we have to use only antifibrotic drug in a definite case of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Now ILD treatment in India, there is an unfilled gap. The 30% thought that ILD and IPF were synonymous, so there is no any difference. So whenever the case came to interstitial lung disease, it is idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. 45% could not identify two important features of ILD on HRCT thorax. 30 to 40% believed that steroids and azathioprine do good for this patient, and 52% could not identify the two drugs found in the use of lung fibrosis. Now these are the guideline 2015, which suggests that only nintedanib and pirfenidone is the recommended drug in idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. The other drug like anticoagulant, then bosentan, sildenafil, antacid therapy, N-acetylcysteine, azathioprine, combination of steroid, azathioprine and acetylcysteine, it is not going to useful when you diagnose a case of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Now coming to the pirfenidone. So what we commonly face in our Indian scenario, what is the recommended dose of the Perfinex? So you can see in the graph that the pirfenidone is to be given in a high dosage. Then only it is going to be efficacious in reducing the decline in forced vital capacity. So the upper graph is showing the pirfenidone in the dose of 2400 milligram. The in between is a 1119.7 milligram, and last is a placebo. So you can see that there is a gradual decline in a higher dosage group. There is some borderline decline in a lower dosage group, and in placebo there is a rapid decline. So whatever the pirfenidone available in market, it was available as 200 milligram recently. Now they have started with 400 milligram. In United States is available at 801 milligram. So what we used to prescribe is pirfenidone 200 milligram one tablet 3 times a day, which is an insufficient dose, low dosage, and it is not going to help it. So after 1 year of treatment, we feel that patients are not improving, but they are not receiving the optimum dosage of pirfenidone, and that is the cause of a inefficiency of this drug in our clinical experience. Another important drug is an nintedanib, and which is given in a dose of 100 milligram to 150 milligram BID doses, and which is a tyrosine kinase inhibitor. It is an important drug for IPF, and it is the only drug which is found to reducing the number of exacerbation of interstitial lung disease or IPF. Along with it is also lead to reduction in the vital capacity. Decline in vital capacity can also be reduced. Now presenting another small case. This is a 59 years female patient, cough, dry, breathless on exertion, no history of fever, anorexia and weight loss. ANA is 3+, and RF factor is negative. So this is the CT scan. You can say smooth interlobular septal thickening along with the ground glass opacification. This is a typical case of NSIP. This is, you can see it is homogeneously distributed. So what should be the drug of choice for this particular lady? That is usually a combination of steroid with immunosuppressive like azathioprine or mycophenolate. Very important group, that is a hypersensitive pneumonia, which happened as a result of exposure, continuous exposure to the organic dust. And very common organic dust in urban setting is a pigeon droppings and pigeon feathers, where the patients are completely exposed in the balcony. The pigeons are staying in the house or in the balcony. This is another case. A 27 years female patient, sudden onset of breathlessness since 15 days, history of exposure to bird in a new job in a poultry farm, recently being employed in a poultry farm. And you can see there is a diffuse ground glass haziness, which is a suggestive of acute hypersensitive pneumonia. The treatment is steroids. If this patient continue to work in this surrounding, then it will lead to a subacute or chronic hypersensitive pneumonia, which is a progressive interstitial lung disease. So what is the treatment for chronic hypersensitive pneumonia? Is always give a trial of steroid. Immunosuppression can be used as an upfront therapy, means steroid with either azathioprine or mycophenolate. And antifibrotic drug can be used in a later stage of this disease like pirfenidone. This is a use of mycophenolate, which is now considered to be better than azathioprine in reducing vital capacity in the patient with chronic hypersensitive pneumonia. And mycophenolate also leading to improvement in reduction in lung function in comparison with the prednisolone. Now coming to the another rare disease, that is a sarcoidosis, which is a multisystem granulomatous disease which affect the many organs. This is a small case. This is around middle-aged patient, came with a chronic cough, and you can see there are multiple nodular opacities in the lung, which is a peribronchiolar or perilymphatic in distribution. And this is a mediastinal window of the patient. You can see there are multiple lymph nodes, very large lymph node, bulky lymph node is situated in the mediastinum, which is known as a potatoes in the chest, very huge nodes. So this is a case of a sarcoidosis. There is a complex algorithm for treating the sarcoidosis, but the main indication of systemic and anti-inflammatory drug like steroids and immunosuppressive when there is a lung or cardiac involvement. If it is a stage 1 disease or non-cardiac pulmonary disease, we can hold for starting with a steroid or azathioprine. Another important group is a occupational lung disease like asbestosis and silicosis, which is the most common ILD. There is no any specific therapy. You have to treat the symptomatic cause, reducing the bronchial obstruction, giving them bronchodilator, and steroid may or may not be beneficial in this patient. Connective tissue disease and ILD is a spectrum of the disease. So there are several connective tissue diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, and lead to interstitial lung disease. You can find different patterns on CT scan for this particular group of the patient. NSIP, UIP, each patient is pattern is there. Just last few slides. So what is the current approach of the treatment? If the patient has got idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, start with pirfenidone, or you can go submit it for a clinical trial or lung transplantation in advanced case. If it is a connective tissue disease with ILD, then start with steroid and immunosuppressive. If it is an idiopathic non-UIP pattern, means pattern is not looking like UIP, then immunosuppression. And what be the future we are heading towards? So nowadays we are heading towards using antifibrotic agent even in a connective tissue disease related interstitial lung disease. With this I finish my talk, and I just have few words. So you have to choose wisely between the steroids, immunosuppressive and antifibrotic drug. You have to identify that which drug is going to useful. If you are finding some fibrotic disease only, the steroid and immunosuppressive are not going to helpful. They are going to worsen. The patient will end up with opportunistic lung infection and other side effect of the steroids. Thank you very much.